I'm seeing how everyone else is coming. I'm like, dang, like I'm over here dripped out in Balenciaga and rocking bust downs. I'm like, nah, I don't fit in. So I was like, I need to change something. So then I bought just a plain Jubilee champagne dial two-tone Datejust. And then that kind of started the whole journey from there.
Welcome back to the Watchers. Welcome back. I'm your host, Rod Dye. I'm here with the one and only Rio, the Watcher.
What's going on, my brother? What's going on?
So excited today, man. We have our first guest number one, Sire Abram. I would give an introduction, but I don't know if I'll do it justice. So I'll allow him to introduce himself, man. Sire, how you feeling today, my brother?
Feeling good. I appreciate you guys having me here.
Well, before you jump into the interview, it's the order of business, how we do things here. So, we got to see what's on wrist. That's how we started off. Yeah. So as our guest, I'll let you go ahead and go first.
I bet. I don't got it on the wrist right now, but I got it right here. Got a RM. On a gray strap.
Yeah.
Nice. Which reference number is that?
035.
Well, I'll go ahead and follow that up, man. I go ahead and I know I've discussed this before, but my first official allocation, if you will, Rolex Datejust, reference number 126334. Classic, fluted on Jubilee, black stick dial. It's definitely a foundational piece for the collection. So that's what we got on wrist today. How about you, Rio?
Man, I came with the Longines Spirit Zulu Time GMT, baby, with the blue GMT hand 42 dial. I ain't a little dude, you know what I'm saying? So I got the 42 on there, you know what I mean? So nice travel piece, nice foundational piece for the collection as I'm growing. So
absolutely, I
have no complaints.
Let's get to it, man. Let's learn a little more about our guest of the day, man, Sire, man. So we know that you're a day trader. You've definitely had a great measure of success. So if you can, man, just tell us about your background, man, and what got you into the day trading space.
My name is Sire Abram. Originally, I'm from Iowa. Super Midwest, small state, not a whole lot going on. And it's funny, because I didn't even know really what like Rolex was, like anything like that. Never heard of that growing up at all. So, as I got older, then I started getting interested in watches. But back in like late 2019, that's when I discovered trading. And from there, it was just, the rest was history, just trial and error. And, I saw how quick you can make money. I also saw how quick you can lose money. But then for me, as soon as I made my rent in like a couple of hours, that shit like just blew my mind.
What would you say is some of the foundational like characteristics or personalities that you would know that somebody would be successful? Because you also teach people as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I would say for sure, like I always tell people, if you are successful within one endeavor of life, you can be successful with trading. You just have to apply what took you to be successful in that into this. Whereas like you have to be hypercritical about yourself. You have to be able to be a student of the game. You got to be able to accept, not every day is going to be a sunny day. Sometimes it might rain outside, but you just got to be able to deal with it. And I say with all those characteristics, like someone could really take it far. But at the end of the day, it's a battle that's you versus you. It's like you're not going into work talking to people, having to do all this stuff because someone else is telling you to. It's literally just you versus you. So you can master yourself. You can master this.
That's awesome, man. How old are you, man?
26.
I'm sorry. I got to get to it, man. You 26 years old, man. What was your first time saying, you know what? I want to buy a really, really dope piece.
Yeah. So it's funny because one of my friends, they bought a Rolex. They bought looked like a 1990s Datejust, like super old. And they told me about watches. So I was like, okay, let me start doing my research. So around that time, and I think it was either late 2021 or early 2022, that was my last year of college. And from there, I was like, okay, let me do my research. Let me, look at some stuff. And from there, I found out about bust down watches. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with, I think his name was like Omi and the Hellcat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Omi. All white whips all day.
Yep.
Yeah.
I used to watch his vlogs, and he had this bust down Sky Dweller. And I always used to love looking at it. So I was like, dang, like, when I would get a watch, I want to watch just like that.
Wow.
So then I saw the movie Uncut Gems. And then I found out about tracks, and I was like, okay, like, I guess like New York might have like a scene or whatever. I wasn't familiar with it. So I took myself and a couple of friends, went down to New York, DM Tracks, a couple of his employees. And I told them, like, look, my budget's $25K. What do y'all got? They put out a bunch of watches like Datejust, GMTs, but then a couple of bust downs. And I was like, yeah, I think I want the bust down. And this guy next to me who was shopping, he was like way older. He was like, bro, don't buy that bust down. Like,
whoa,
you buy it now for $23K. It's going to be $13K and a couple years later. I was like, bro,
trying to get the game.
Yeah, I was ignorant. I was like, you don't know what he's talking about.
Right.
So I
bought it. Man, what you talking about?
Right. Right. So I bought it, and like from there, like, man, I was just amazed. Like, I was like, wow, I can't believe I have this. And, I was still a college student at the University of Iowa. So going back to Iowa with a bust down on your wrist every day, like, that was just crazy. Like, no one's ever seen that before.
You moved from Iowa, right? Did you go to Houston then, or did you go to Chicago? Where did you go after that, after college?
So I went to Dallas. So So I was working at Goldman Sachs at Dallas. I worked there about a summer before I graduated. And then they gave me a full-time return offer. And like 2 weeks before I was supposed to start, moved to Dallas. And I was like, you know what? I'm making way more money trading than I am like working this job, working 12 hours a day. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just take the bet, just bet on myself. And I mean, it paid off, thank God. But yeah, it was a lot, man. It was a lot.
How did that feel? Like, I mean, yes, we can always say like, well, I'm making more money right now. But when you get like an opportunity with a Goldman Sachs or something like that, you have an opportunity, it's more than money that comes along with that. It's stability. Right. And security. So yes, you're young, but what gave you the mental fortitude to say, you know what, I am going to bet on myself?
I feel like for me, it really was because the way I structured kind of like my life beforehand. So I've always been a pretty frugal person to where I'm like, okay, I need to build a big safety net before I can, just do whatever I feel like doing. So throughout college, like, I just was putting money away. Like, I think I only had maybe $500 in expenses a month, and I was making like 25, 30K a month. That's like throughout the last 2 years of college.
That's crazy.
So then from there, I told my parents, and they were like, honestly, like, just continue what you're doing. Like, don't go work, because if you work, it's going to slow it down. And I think Goldman told me, they said, if you trade while you work here, like, you can't work here anymore, because they have insider information. So they were like, either you do what you do or you come with us. And I was like,
Hey, let's clap it up for the parents, though. Let's clap it up for the parents. That's fire, man.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Nice. Hey, what advice would you give to someone who wants to, get into day trading?
Yeah, you got to come in with the practical mindset. Like, if I came into trading thinking that I was going to buy a Lamborghini after the first year of trading, like, I would be very disappointed, because that's very unlikely. So I think everyone should just, have the mindset of, forget everything I see on social media, this person making this much money. Like, I just need to focus on me, myself, and I. So like, I tell people that come into my program that I teach, like, look, if you can pay your phone bill, that's $100 a month from trading, that's a win. Even though it's $100, like, you get comfortable doing that, it's going to add up over the course of the long run. $100 over the course of 30 days, 3 racks. It's like $3,000. That's someone's mortgage right there. That's a couple car payments, whatever. So, just got to be practical and, not be too hard on yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's get to the matter at hand, man. So
yeah, that's why I was like, oh, because I wanted to ask you. So like, okay, you bought the bust down first, right? Boom. Yeah. So where was the mental switch to be like, okay, I don't want to bust down? Or what was your next watch or two after that?
Yeah, so it was a Oyster No, it was a Datejust oyster band.
Okay.
With it was rose gold, and it was like rose gold and like white diamonds bust down. Mm-hmm. And when I moved to Dallas, Texas, like I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dallas, it's very like it's very uppity, it's very classy and everything.
Old
of that
money,
nature.
oil money.
Yeah. So when I started going to like Highland Park Village and like all these nice places, like I'm seeing how everyone else is coming. I'm like, dang, like I'm over here dripped out in Balenciaga and rocking bust downs. I'm like, nah, I don't fit in. So I was like, I need to change something. So then I bought just a plain Jubilee champagne dial two-tone Datejust. And then that kind of started the whole journey from there.
Now, was that retail? Was that secondary market?
Secondary.
Okay, cool. Was that from your guys in New York again?
No. So this was in Dallas. His name's Alfred. I worked with that Grand Caliber.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So I went from there, and then I think I got bored of that watch after like 2 months, and I bought a 41 millimeter Royal Oak white dial. And then once I realized how quick you can get in and out of watches, man, I was going through watches every other month.
You still enjoy watch collecting?
To be honest, at this point, no, I don't. Because I went through everything I could have really ever wanted. Like,
talk us through that. Talk us through that, and then tell us like why you may not be into it as much anymore. If you could walk through some of the pieces you've had.
Man, what's some of those grails?
Yes. Yeah. So my grail was the Patek 5711 rose gold. That was like right there. That was my dream watch, and I knew I could have just straight up and bought it, but I was like, I want to enjoy the journey of going up to that level instead of just buying it right away, because there's so many different pieces. And, as someone that's, pretty young, I know, 4 months out of the beginning of the year, I might be a different person in the last 4 months at the beginning of the year. So I wanted the whole journey to resemble that. So I went from that Datejust to 41 millimeter Royal Oak white dial. Then I switched it to the black dial, switched it to a Date 8 rose gold, and then just kept on going from there.
Was the rose gold the olive dial, the 50th anniversary?
No, it was the, what is it called? The Sundust dial with baguettes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still like diamonds at the end of the day. You still like a little diamond here and there. But they was factory though.
Exactly.
Factory's always good, man. But I'm glad you actually did go through getting the bust down. At the end of the day, a lot of people don't understand how you get into the journey. You're gonna, I don't even want to call it a mistake, because you had to learn through that, and you got the opportunity to experience that, because let's just be real. Watch collecting circles are different based off of where you come from and what you're influenced by, right? Absolutely. So for example, I can go and I could literally be wearing a Paul Newman Daytona, but if I go to a certain function of a certain event, it's not even, nobody's even going to look at it. Nobody's even going to pay attention to it. I could wear a bust down Cardi, you know what I'm saying? Or a bust down Datejust or something like that. And you're going to get maybe the attention you're looking for, people look for, because it's valued different in different circles. So I think, what I had to learn being in this space is that, we're bringing our culture into the space just as much as we're learning about the culture that was already here. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So it's cool. Don't look at it as a mistake. Look at it as hey, I learned and I got the experience that they didn't. They, some of them don't even know what the value is or the value add in our circles are for having something like that. And to say that was your first piece is low-key crazy. It's legendary, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Very legendary. And I just want to comment on that too. It's important that we show up as us. You know what I mean? We see the world through a certain lens, so we're bringing our culture to the watch space. So, I mean, you can assimilate in some ways, going from buzz down. So, okay, we're going to do stones. We're going to do factory set. But at the same time, we have to show up as us, because we talk about that. We've been to the luxury, for example, here in Columbus, we have the diamond seller. We've been to those events where it's a more pretentious crowd. And then we also been to 614 Watch Club events to where it's the nerds, if you will. So we've been in there with Rolexes before, and it's they're geeking out over someone's Seiko or someone's Grand Seiko. Whereas if you wear a Seiko and you're at the diamond seller event, you may not even get a conversation with someone. It's just a different crowd.
They may not even offer you a drink. So,
exactly. your drink, like you're in the wrong place. But no, but at least for us, it's like I say, it's important because I know online and Reel's got a lot of engagement just as far as, like he recently made a post about, like people like certain like specs or like certain types of watches. And it's like, we're here because watches are fly at the end of the day. And we're bringing that element to the game, like it's great. Like, the specs are great. Obviously, it's important. Provenance is important. But first and foremost, we're here because they're fly.
Right, exactly. Like I remember the dude I used to buy watches from, I think this was around the time where I got the Day-Date, the rose gold one. He was like, what about Daytonas? I'm like, I look like an old man watch. Like, not something. And he was like, yeah, but the complications and the subdials. I was like, bro, I don't care about none of that.
None of that.
I just want to be this good.
Yeah.
But to speak on Daytona, since you brought it up, you recently had posted up the John Mayer, man.
Yeah.
Tell me about that watch. Like, tell me like the experience of that watch and why you're considering doubling back on that watch.
Yeah. So with the whole Daytona thing, I think the first Daytona I had was a rose gold Daytona. And I bought it right at the end of the year just because, I was like, I want to experience it. And then I got it. And then literally 2 days later, I got a stainless steel black dial Daytona. So I was like, okay, I kind of actually like these. And then I shit you not, 2 weeks later, I bought a John Mayer Daytona. And then at that point, I had a rose gold, stainless steel, yellow gold Daytona.
All the flavors, right?
Yeah. And then the John Mayer, I don't know what it is. I think it's because I don't wear yellow gold at all. So just seeing that yellow gold with the green dial, like it just hit so hard. And especially it's discontinued. So, I felt like it was more special than the rest of them.
So this was the first version of the John Mayer, the first one before the
yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, it looked amazing, man. And I think it's just amazing how he literally influenced everybody to say, hey, this is the watch to get. It's a sleeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. And really the only reason I bought it is my friend. I took him to go buy a Datejust. So he bought his Datejust. I was like, dang, that was a fun experience. Like, I kind of miss it. I want to get that same feeling again. So then that's why I bought the John Mayer.
Talk to me about that experience a little bit. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, just elaborate just a little bit more, like you get an experience out of it. Like, some people may never experience some of the watches that you've experienced. As far as you said, Pateks, you said John Mayers, you said rose golds, precious metal, diamond pieces, APs even. Talk about what that experience is like. Is there any differences or dispel any myths, if you will, about, being able to wear higher end pieces?
Yeah. So I would say when it comes to higher end pieces, personally, I don't think that it really changes much for you. Like I have some people that'll ask me like, oh, when you had this watch, did it get you more connections? Did it, increase revenue for your business? I'm like, no, bro. Like it's about who you are as a person. Like the watch is just a watch at the end of the day, but it's about the person wearing the watch.
The man
so
behind the watch.
Exactly. If you're not someone that can strike up an interesting conversation, and whatnot, like it doesn't matter if you have a $500,000 watch on. Like at the end of the day, it's just a piece of metal, a piece of plastic. So you have to be interesting as an individual. And other than that, like experiencing all these different watch brands, different pieces and whatnot, it kind of correlates with a part of your life per se. So for me, when I was getting into APs, I was like, okay, like this is it. Like I'm going stainless steel APs. I'm starting to really figure out, where I want to position myself, within like business and everything of that nature. So, someone that is a young professional in banking, they're probably going to have a Black Date sub because that's, more entry level. That's where they are. And then someone that's an MD at a bank, they're probably going to have some FP Journe or something like that.
Tell me about your experience with the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak.
I'm not going to lie to you. It's funny you say this because I was thinking about this like 2 days ago. Personally, I am not a fan of AP. I don't like it. I really don't.
Give us some game. What's your experience?
AP, I feel like it's a very rugged look. And I feel like you have to be a certain type of individual to wear that. Whereas like me, I'm like 5'5", I weigh 130 pounds soaking wet. So me walking around with a 41 millimeter big watch, it's too bulky for me. It's just not clean. Like I like to wear what represents me. So something like a Nautilus, it's very low key, it's very sleek, clean, it's very easy to wear. But with AP, I don't really see a lot of innovation per se. It's where it's like with Rolex, man, they got flavors on flavors on flavors. And the entry point is very low and then it can go very high. But AP, like you're going to start out spending $30,000 bare minimum. And
to go.
The most popular thing is a Royal Oak. And they all look the same to me. Like I've had a rose gold Royal Oak, stainless steel Royal Oaks, and it's just like it's all the same stuff.
So it didn't resonate with you. It didn't give you that feeling that maybe when you started to like the Daytonas or the Nautilus feel. How did you transition to Richard Mille?
I'm not gonna lie, it really was random. So I think back at this time, it was right at the end of 2024. It was like September, October. And the watch that I traded in for the RM was a rose gold blue dial chrono Royal Oak. And then I think I had a Day-Date at the time, olive Day-Date. So I traded both of those in plus some cash. And then I got that RM10 rose gold. And the feeling I got from that RM.
That's like one of my faves. Like,
man,
I don't even think it's the best one. Like I like the Bubba Watson, I like the Nadal. I mean, there's so many other different ones, but it's like something. When I first saw that one, I was just like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, I agree. And like it being rose gold as well, just added another level onto it.
Yeah.
So I heard you mention FP Journe. And we gotta unpin that right now. So that next on your list, do you have a Journe? Is that next on your list? Because I mean, I know Rio and I, that's like, I know people start like the Holy Trinity. They, say, Patek and, AP and Vacheron, but like,
and Rolex.
FP, well, yeah. But I'm saying like the industry says like those three, but I feel like you got to put Rolex up there. But we talk like the pinnacle of horology. I mean, I feel like we start with FP Journe, but how about you? Do you have an FP Journe? Is that something that you want to acquire? So
yeah, no, I don't have one. I'd probably say I wouldn't get one until maybe I have kids or something. I'm like mid-30s, kind of want to slow down because like with the Nautilus and Daytonas or whatnot, they're simple, they're classy, but they also have a lot of character to them. So I feel like FP Journe, it's a lot of watch, but at the same time, someone in their 20s, I feel like you have to live a certain type of lifestyle to rock that, especially on a daily. Because nowadays, I don't like having more than one watch because when I've had 3-4 watches at the same time, I only wear the best one. And it's like, if I go somewhere and I wear like the worst one and I see everyone else with all these heavy hitters, I'm like, dang, I should have wore the other watch today.
So with that being said, so you only have one watch right now?
Yeah. Yep. Just as RM.
Right. So there's just a $200,000 watch, basically.
Right.
Talk about the one watch collection.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hell of a one watch. So what are your plans?
My plans with this RM, and to be quite frank with you, I really just got it because I just didn't know what else to get at this time because I've hit the top for me. So with watches, it's just like, now I'm kind of wanting to go back down to whatever I actually loved. So yeah, and like I'm 26, I'm young. I live downtown in a high-rise apartment. Eventually I want to get a house. So if I could pull out like 190K out of this and use 120,000 for a down payment on a home, and then use the rest of the money and go buy a Daytona, that's a win for me. So
amazing.
Let's salute, hey, bro. I want to salute that, bro. Just having that option and what watches in that leverage, like whether you gain 10,000 on the watch or you lose 10,000 on the watch, you had the experience, right? But then now you're talking about pivoting that watch and using it to buy some real estate and home and land. And because I see you put it on your stories, I'm like, bro, you could go to Miami and get a condo and rent that out anytime. Go get you that land in Texas, bro. So are we talking about the John Mayer? If you do that, are we talking about the John Mayer again? Or are you talking about maybe a stainless steel or something else? What do you think?
Yeah, see, so that's the hard part. John Mayer is yellow gold, and I really don't like wearing yellow gold. It's too flashy. Mm-hmm. So honestly, I'd probably say I'd probably say a rose gold date or either stainless steel GMT.
Probably could do both, to be honest with you. If you're saying like 190, like you could put like 20 and 50 to the side, or, you know, if you go secondary market, it's probably going to be 40 and like 18 or something like that, and still have 120 to put down for the land. That's give you don't let me advise you. Don't let me talk you into it. I'm just saying.
Or with your track record, you can go back to your ADs, just walk in.
Just walk in like that and that.
11, 12, and then,
Literally, it's so funny, like going to the ADs and like they'll see me every 3 months with something different. Like one time, so I had the platinum Daytona 3 different times. I had the new reference with the open back with baguette dial, like baguette markers.
Yeah.
Then I had the old reference with the stick dials. And then I had the old reference with the complete ice blue dial with the closed back. And when I just came into the ADs, like, oh, this week I got this. 4 weeks later I got this. A couple weeks later I got this. They're just like, bro, how? So like, I feel like that's why I maybe was able to get watches just so quick from ADs, because they're like, okay, this guy knows ball.
They couldn't hit you with the two-tone 36 millimeter Explorer. Like, I got something for you, bro. Like, who you talking
tell us? Like, not for me.
So do you think that worked? Like, because we've been having debates, or I've been seeing debates, like, if you go into an AD with a heavy hitter on already, and you naturally said you build relationships. So let's be clear, that like just how you doing, talking about sports, talking about stuff, food, whatever. But you didn't go in there wearing, you know, like a G-Shock or a Timex or a Seiko. There's nothing wrong with that. But you kind of went in there with pieces that like they don't even have, or they may not have seen in the metal. So do you think that worked?
Yeah, I think that is definitely some element to it. But for me, I'm just a relationship type of guy. So I'm like, with the guy that I was working with in Houston, like I would go out to eat with them. I'd kick it. We could go do whatever and just be cool. Kind of just, it's more about, you know, the relationship than the actual watches. But I feel like once they see that, they're like, okay, like this guy actually knows what he's talking about, has some sort of interest, and then also has the ability to get, you know, whatever he wants. And he's not going to stick around and play my AD games for the next 2-3 years.
That's dope, man. That's dope.
That's interesting that you say that. I feel like now I'm not in the Patek world just yet, or, you know, but as far as just like you said, like not playing like the AD games, like I'm a volume shooter, and I talked about that on like other like episodes. Like, okay, if you don't want to give me where I want, cool. I'm gonna go over here. I'm in Columbus. Okay, it's not working out here. Cool. I'll go out to Pittsburgh. They show me love in Pittsburgh. When I go to Cincinnati, when I go to Chicago, everywhere I touch down, I'm going to stop in and introduce myself, like you said. And I think you made a good point, too, just as far as, like you said, you talk about, like, staying firm and just, you know, just not only with, like, what you want to spend, but also I think we touched on in our previous episode as well, as just, like buying what you want, you know what I'm saying, not letting them force pieces on you, you know. So that's, you know, very powerful, very powerful.
Right. Because I think me and you was kind of talking, and like when we first like chatted, you was like, certain watches, you was like, man, you might as well just go gray market for this watch, or you should wait for these watches for the like. So it's just your advice. And let's just use Rolex, for example, or Rolex, AP, Patek, those kind of watches, like Vacheron maybe. Like, when do you say, like, if you want a certain piece, like you should just wait for the AD or go to the ADs for these pieces, or you should just, like, if they are giving you a hassle, go for that? Like, say if I wanted a Submariner, do you wait for that, or would you go gray?
Yeah, I would say anything that maybe is I don't know, man. It's like value retention is very important. Mm-hmm. Because if you buy something, let's say you buy something from the 80, like a precious metal, I don't know, whatever watch. And then let's say, you know, a few months later, you're tired of it, you want to sell it, maybe get something else. And now you lost $10,000 just like that. It's not worth it. I don't care, even if you do really like it, at the end of the day, if you truly believe you're never going to sell it, buy it. But I know myself, I'm in and out of things all the time. I love mobility. Yeah. So for me, I always got to make sure that, you know, I'm buying right.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. So what's next? I mean, how can people like reach out to you, contact you, you know, if they wanted to learn how to trade from you, you know, where can they find you?
Yeah. So my Instagram is Sire Abram. So SireAbram. And yeah, that right there is my Instagram account. But I will say, and I forgot to say this earlier, my dream watch is that 5740 Nautilus.
5740.
That was going to be my next question.
There you go. Why that watch?
So the first time I saw it at the Patek AD in Houston, they were showing me a bunch of Nautilus, and he was like, oh, this one right here is a lot of people's holy grails. I was like, how? I mean, it looks very basic to me. It doesn't make any sense. And I have the video of me like having it on my wrist, looking at it. And I was just like, I don't really like it. But once I started seeing a lot of people with Nautiluses, like even myself, as I went through them, I started to realize like, okay, 5712, this complication, 5711, super simple. But the 5740, there's just something about it that's very different. And if I'm not mistaken, it's white gold.
Okay. So it looks like steel, but it's like stealth wealth.
Right, exactly. Like I'm like, it's low key, it's a heavy hitter, and it says a lot without, you know, doing too much. So that right there, if I could get that, I definitely would take it at a heartbeat. And my favorite watch I've ever had was the 5167R Aquanaut Rose Gold.
Aquanaut. Yeah, I love Aquanauts, man. I love Aquanauts because I just feel like you can wear that all day, every day. You know what I mean? Like, do you feel like, because I feel like an Aquanaut almost could basically be like a Nautilus with just rubber straps. Do you feel like you lose any value just by having the rubber straps, or do you feel like that actually is what make you, no, it's actually an addition. It's a plus for that watch?
I feel like it depends on the brand. For Rolex on the rubber strap, personally, I'd stay away from. But if it's a Patek or a Richard Mille, then it's okay. But it's funny because I bought mine for $75,000 back in summer of 2024. And I want that watch again. If I got that watch, I would never sell it. But they're going for, you know, mid-90s right now. So I can't buy the same watch for more than I had before.
Oh, that's just a rule of yours, huh? Like I got you. Any other, like, you know, last things you want to leave advice for our viewers to, you know, that's either starting or even veterans, like any last like words of advice for them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I say when it comes to the watch game, enjoy the process, because there's going to come a point in time where you're not going to care about it anymore, right? Like a lot of people, what they cared about 6 years ago, they thought was popular, they don't really care for much. So for me, just going through every step of the journey is what makes it worth it. Versus if you just go from 0 to 100, you're not going to appreciate it. And going through a bunch of different watches, you get to understand what you like, what you don't like, what are some non-negotiables for you. And you also build relationships throughout that time period, to where it's like you might have a Sprite GMT, and you see someone else that has a Sprite GMT. And then you guys start. Actually, that happened to me. I went out. I had a Rolex Day-Date Rose Gold. Guy had the exact same watch. And we're like, oh, hey, nice watch. And then from there, we clicked. He's an entrepreneur out in Houston, Texas, and we've been friends since, all because we had the same watch. So definitely enjoy the journey.
Salute, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, man, we appreciate you, Sire, man. You're welcome back on the Watchers anytime, man. We get to Chicago, definitely give you a ring.
Or Dallas. Are you going to Dallas, though? Are you moving to Dallas?
Now, so I want to move back to Houston.
Okay.
Hopefully before the spring.
Okay.
Awesome. We got to link up before then.
Definitely man, with you. So like I said, thank you for coming on the Watchers. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm your host, Rod Dye.
The Real Watcher.
We're signing off.
Let's go.
All right, take it easy.